Well, everybody, I know it's been a while. Geez, it's got to be at least a month. Um, just figured I'd do a video here. We have a lot of fairly big changes. Where to start? I've been so busy. I find it so hard to find time for much of anything else lately. But I'm here Saturday. It's October 15th, or I think. Yeah, I think it's the 15th. I'm going to change the oil in the buncher. And we got a hell of a lot of rain yesterday and the night before. So where to start? Probably one of the bigger changes is Wes isn't running the forwarder anymore. It was, I think, mutual and good at the end here, so I have nothing bad to say. Nothing but the best. But I hired Jeff's brother. Eventually we'll get him on here a little bit or watch him run the forwarder. So now we have the Briggs boys. So anyways, Ben is running the forwarder, and so that's pretty big. And I guess probably the biggest, well, at least money-wise, is we got some new paint here. So we no longer have the 501. Let me around. So we have a new 2022 Weiler H157 with whatever they call the head. I don't know off the top of my head what they're calling it, but so it's the revamped 501. So basically, we had kind of got a lot of rain. Jeff did work yesterday though, but so far it's been, I don't have any video of it running yet. We will. It's just been, kind of been getting things tuned up. It's a lot different than the 501, even though, basically from the turntable down is still a 501 other than the toolbox. Everything up is brand new. There's nothing that's the same. And so far, I think we're really going to like it. I know that. It's just getting everything tuned up. If you guys remember the 501s from my videos, or if you've had them, you had all these hoses coming out into each side. And this thing is so cleaned up. There's no hoses hanging out here. It's really set up pretty good. I'll show you. So on the 501, it had way more lines than that coming down each side of the boom. So they moved the valve bank from there out on the head. So on the 501, the valve bank for the head was on the machine, so it had to have a hose for every function going out there. So it just has a feed, a return, and maybe a case drain or something. And then I'll show you on the other side, and then the wiring harness. So those are the only 4 lines. So it's 3 hydraulic lines, and this is the wiring harness. So it's just, and that goes in there to a manifold. You could fall asleep with your hand on the trigger and rotate that around to your heart's delight, and not ruin anything. So just not having all those hoses is huge. The cab is 100% quieter. Way nicer than the 501, but I just can't get over how quiet it is in here. It's the engine. I know it's tier 5, I think this is, but really, the cab's very nice. The access is unbelievable. And I'll do some more videos on that. This is just sort of an introduction. So we in Milton Cat with Norm is the salesman, and he's kind of the forestry specialist. And he's been an extreme help. And I would say what I've gathered, because we've had it for about a week and a half now, is that it's not a 501. It's not even close. So if you're coming from a 501 to a Weiler and you don't want to learn how to use the technology, you're probably not going to like the machine. So there is way more intricacies, getting it set up correctly, pressures for different species, just a lot of things. And it's also still a fairly new machine, so they're still figuring some stuff out. But getting the measuring calibrated, they came out and got that squared away. They got the diameter working, which it wasn't, which was more of an update. But as far as I've said, at least who we're dealing with, they've been extremely helpful. It's going to take a little bit for Jeff to get used to it. It's a different animal. It doesn't feed the same. It doesn't, it just doesn't act the same as the 501. So I think, what I've gathered too is they're getting a few more out in Maine. And if you're coming from a dangle head to this machine, it'll probably be an easier transition than coming from a 501 to this machine, because the technology that's in this, and just the two feed wheels, and it's got a lot faster feed speed. It's just a lot more like a dangle head operates, other than it's fixed, than anything like the 501. So like I said, again, from what I gather, that seems to be the biggest hiccup for people coming from 501s, is just not knowing how to use the technology and stuff. And to be honest, we would have struggled a lot harder if it wasn't for Norm and the support that we've gotten. And that's also communicating, wanting to figure out how to use the technology. So I think it's going to be more productive. I know it is. It's just kind of getting it all figured out, and I think Jeff's on the same page. He's got to get used to it and all that stuff. So what else? The other big thing is it's just been crazy busy, trying to be around for this to be set up, trying to get enough wood laid down here. I am going to be laying wood down in New Hampshire, which is different. So my crew will be here in Maine, and I'll be in New Hampshire, so we'll be jogging back and forth. So and I seem to keep, kind of going, I got plenty of time, or, but I really don't. So, but that's part of entrepreneurship. So if you don't like it, go home, do something else, go work for somebody. So I'm not going to complain about it. Anyways, I'll try to get some more video and of this actually working once Jeff gets comfortable, and hopefully everybody's well. And I'm going to go change the oil in the 822.